Okay, there you go. So welcome. Tonight is our first call for the Coach Basics University, and I'm Kathleen, and I want to welcome y'all for being here. And we're going to kind of break this into two halves tonight. The first half we'll do that same presentation that was the business opportunity from a little different perspective, and then the second half I'm going to do some screen sharing with you about Facebook groups and about the back office and a little bit about challenge groups and stuff like that. And I certainly would welcome your questions along the way. So by all means, jump in with those, and we'll save time at the end for questions also. But we'll try and keep this to an hour because I know that everybody has busy lives outside of this. So I'm going to actually do the screen share now. Hopefully this works. And there we go. Okay. And let's see. Start with this one. There. Okay. So I think some of you may have heard this before, but again, I just kind of like to go through it in case you haven't heard it or in case you'd like to hear it again now that you are officially a coach. So this is a great picture here just of a bunch of coaches at Summit this year, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that. But again, I certainly want to welcome you to our team. And when we say Team Beachbody and our team, Inspiration Nation, we're part of a bigger team and a great team with Beachbody. We're actually part of the #1 team in all of the 200,000 plus coaches. And I think you guys may kind of understand a little bit more about what it means to be part of the team. But if you don't, we'll certainly keep talking about that. Oh, I'm sorry, we keep jumping around here. Anyway, so we'll talk more about that. But this is just a little bit of an idea of all the people that are part of our team, and they certainly come from all different walks of life and all different ways of doing this, approaching this business, and they're all wonderful and exciting. There we go. So this is me, a little bit more about me in case we haven't met yet. So I am a start admin coach on this team, and we'll eventually get to what that actually means as far as rank. But of course, I'm also a wife. I'm one of these 3 little guys here. I have my master's in social work, and prior to Beachbody, I worked in oncology social work, where I did support groups, and worked with other people who were living with cancer. And my introduction to Beachbody came after I had my 3rd little guy, Cameron, there, and I was struggling to get back into my pre-pregnancy clothes, and the reality kind of set in when a friend of mine was pregnant, and I wanted to pass along my clothes because we knew we were done having children, and I was still wearing them. And I just, it's kind of a slap in the face that I just really, in my life, wasn't where I wanted to be, particularly with how I felt about myself. And I started doing some things on my own, and I just really didn't quite get to where I wanted to be. I did end up giving her back the pants, but I didn't, you know what, I'm hearing some feedback. Just hang with me 1 second while I mute y'all so that we don't, there we go. I think that worked. Okay, so anyway, we started doing stuff on my own. That's actually how Terry and I started running together. Terry's on the call, and I definitely saw some changes in my body, but I just couldn't quite button my pants the way I wanted to. And quite honestly, I didn't have the money to invest in, I'm sorry, I just need to mute everybody here. Wait 1 second. There we go. Anyway, okay, so I just didn't quite have the money to invest in a new wardrobe, and nor did I want to do that, of bigger clothes. So I started, after I started running, I saw my coach, Alyssa, who you all will get to know eventually. I saw her posting on Facebook about working out, and she has 3 kids that are similar age to mine. And I just, I actually reached out to her and I said, how are you doing this? And she started talking to me a little bit about Beachbody, but at the time I just wasn't ready to hear it. And it took me actually 3 months until I finally was like, I am not doing this on my own very well, and I need some help. So my introduction was while I was still running. I started a 30-day clean eating and Shakeology group. And it was really the change that I needed, and that was the missing piece for me. I I feel like I kind of had the exercise piece down, but I did not have down the eating portion, and I wasn't drinking Shakeology. So I started with that, and it was a 30-day group, and I saw some real results and some real a real change in my body. And I'm so sorry, that's so distracting, that keeps flipping around. Anyway, so I saw some real results, and I decided that I wanted to keep going. And I saw that was right around the time that T25 came out, and the race was over, and that Terry and I were training for. And so I jumped on board with T25, and I decided at the time that I saw such great results that I really wanted to pay it forward and keep going, and possibly do this as a side thing with helping other people feel the way I started feeling. Because as you probably know, when you start feeling better about yourself, so many other things change. Relationships improve, my self-esteem improved, I feel like my parenting improved. I mean, all these things that are just go hand in hand with how you feel about yourself. So anyways, I originally started thinking that I would just keep I had no intention of leaving my job at the time, and I thought I would just do this kind of part-time because I really wanted a cleaning lady for my house. And then some things happened at work, and my burnout level at work started really pushing higher. And I just thought, I really needed a change. I really wanted to be with my children more. My oldest son started kindergarten last year at that time, and it was actually, my kids were in daycare 3 days a week, and it was actually more expensive for him to go to after school care than it had been at daycare. So my husband and I said, you know what, we need a change, and this kind of came right at the right time. So I resigned from my job in September of last year, took a leap of faith, and decided to do this as my full-time job, and be able to get my kids on and off the bus, and be with my younger two aren't in elementary school yet, they're in preschool. But so anyway, so after that, which has been amazing, and we'll certainly talk more about that too as we go. But after that, I did P90X3 when it came out. I've done the 21-day fix. I did PIO as a hybrid with a 5K, and I just decided I've done a little bit of P90 just to kind of get an idea of the program. But I just today decided to start combat, because I love that idea of feeling like a warrior. So I did my first combat workout tonight, which I loved. Anyway, so in doing this work, and learning more and more and more about Beachbody, also realized that there's so much more potential in this business, which is really what drew me in. I can stick to my mission as a social worker of helping people, and helping them in a very positive way. In my work in oncology, I mean, it was certainly very valuable and very meaningful work, but a lot of the people that I worked with were terminal, and I saw some families through death, and it was very hard, very rewarding. But kind of shifting gears, helping people in this way, it's all positive, and it's a wonderful environment to be a part of, to help people see changes that are going to help them, prevent things like cancer from happening, but also just have better relationships and better lives overall. But also, the potential financially in this business is like nothing else for me, coming from a social work background, where I obviously didn't go into it for the money. But once you have children and you kind of realize that you certainly need money for lots of things, the potential in this business is just almost limitless. I mean, it's just hearing about the coaches above us on our team, Alyssa and Melanie. I mean, we're talking 6-figure incomes and all that kind of stuff, and it's just, the potential is so huge that it's unlike anything I ever dreamed up for myself and my career path. So it's amazing that you could have any background and still make your way in this company. Okay, so you probably remember this if you've seen this before, but if not, the mission of Beachbody is to help people achieve their goals and lead healthy and fulfilling lives, which is really an amazing mission. I mean, Beachbody is not just about workout programs or just about supplements. It's really about helping people achieve their goals, which is amazing. I mean, it's helping us achieve our own goals while we're helping other people achieve their goals. And then just for your information, Beachbody was founded in 1998. It started as a direct marketing company. You probably have seen infomercials. I know I had before I even had any idea about this coaching opportunity for Insanity, or maybe you saw them for T25 or P90X or whatever. They started out just with that. They kind of mastered the infomercial. And then in 2007, they decided that they wanted to make it into a network marketing company because there were people who were basically doing the marketing for them because they were having these amazing transformation stories with these amazing products. And they wanted to give that power back to the people who were really there doing it. So there's this kind of peer-to-peer network where, you know, you have success and you naturally share it with other people. And they thought, why not reward those people who are kind of doing the advertising for them? So network marketing, we'll talk more about that as the weeks go on. If you're not familiar with what network marketing is, I know I certainly wasn't coming from social work, but it's as you probably know now, there's basically two ways to earn money in this business: through commission off of the products, and then through team bonuses. And we'll certainly make sure everybody gets to understand what that means as we go along. So what a coach is and isn't. So, you know, I guess you're probably guessing from my background at least, and I'm certainly only one of many, but you don't need to be a fitness or nutrition expert. You don't need to be at your fitness goals, and you don't need to be experienced in sales. You certainly can be any of those things. If you have a fitness background, that's awesome. If you have a nutrition background, fabulous. Or if you're already at your fitness goal, that's great. But you don't need to be any of those things, because there are fantastic trainings that we'll go through. There's all kinds of resources out there. And as far as being at your fitness goal, it's really, I think I've talked with a lot of you about this, it's really about just inviting people on the journey with you. It's so much more relatable than having, you know, a perfect person, because the people that you're going to naturally attract are going to be like you, because they're going to relate to you. So you can really be anywhere on your journey. And it really is a journey for all of us, you know, no matter where we are, just inviting people to join us. And the sales piece, we certainly will talk more about that as well. It's really about, this business is really about building relationships with people. It's not about selling products. But what a coach does need to be is passionate, dedicated, committed to being proof the products work, which basically means that everybody in here should be doing a program, whatever it is, and drinking Shakeology, and being committed to being on your own health and fitness journey. So hopefully you all are involved in a challenge group yourselves, because it's important to know why the products work, why this program works, why Beachbody is amazing, because people will want to hear directly from you about your experience. And then finally, we're messengers of success stories, which is, I mean, just a very cool part of our job. We get to see other people succeed, have some small part in that, and share that with other people to encourage people and inspire people. So these are some of the success stories that we've been a part of. These are real people. Some of them are actually coaches now, which is awesome. And it's so fun to be a part of these kinds of things. So basically, this is the magic formula that Beachbody believes in. We believe in as coaches: fitness plus nutrition plus support, usually in the form of challenge groups, though that's not the only way, equals success. These are some awesome success stories. Some great quotes from people. I'm not going to read them to you today, but you can, I actually have most of these posted on my blog, which I'll share with you later, but they're just some great stories and some great ways to collect, you know, why this work is so valuable that we do. And then just to remind you a little bit more about how we make money as coaches. So again, we get 25% commission on anything we sell. So any programs that you sell, Shakeology, there's a whole bunch of other stuff that Team Beachbody is a part of. So I would certainly encourage you, if you're interested, to go back through and just take some time to get to know what else Beachbody has. There's tons of other products, not just workout programs. There's supplements, there's a whole skincare line, all these things. And all of that, as you get to know and as you are working with other people and are helping to meet their needs, you get 25% commission. Then there's these challenge packs, which you probably have some idea of, because I'm imagining most of you became coaches by getting a challenge pack. But in case you don't know, challenge packs are a workout program plus a 30-day supply of Shakeology bundled together at a discount price. And every month there's a different sale through Beachbody. So every month a different challenge pack will be on sale. So we'll find out November 1st what's on sale. But this month, P90 is still on sale, the challenge pack. And the Ultimate Reset, which is another program, if you're not familiar with that, it's completely nutrition-based. There's not a workout component to it. In fact, they actually discourage any real extraneous activity because it's really resetting your nutrition and your metabolism and all that. So that's on sale this month. And then I think we just found out Combat and Pump, Less Meals Combat and Less Meals Pump are both on sale this month also. And then, so you get bonuses when you sell challenge packs as well, in the form of cash. And then there's team bonuses, which have to do with as you're building your team. So that what that means is getting coaches, people that are interested in coaching, signing on under you. And we'll talk more and more and more about that because that's very confusing in the beginning. But the bottom line is that how you build long-term income is not necessarily through commission. It's through building a team under you of coaches who are also interested in working the business. And then also, you know, the perk about being a coach is that you get 25% discount on your own purchases. So, and that's why we have some people who are considered quote unquote discount coaches, meaning they never want to run the business, but they just want 25% off their products, which is especially valuable if they're getting Shakeology regularly. So then some of the other rewards and perks you'll hear about and that are going to become more and more important to you as you go there's this program called Success Starters, and it has to do with Success Club. So if you aren't familiar with Success Club yet, basically Beachbody has set a benchmark for us coaches to reach every month to help us know that we're staying on track in our business. So Success Club is anytime you sell a challenge pack, you get 2 Success Club points. And anytime you sell Shakeology Home Direct, you get 1 point. So the benchmark is to get Success Club or SC 5 every month or 10. And the difference is sometimes that the difference is you're obviously selling more product, you're getting more income if you're getting to SC 10. Sometimes the company will offer us incentives to get to Success Club, and they'll offer different incentives for Success Club 5 or 10. But for all of you brand new coaches, there's this program called Success Starters, which is if you can get SC5 the first 3 months that you're in the business, they will give you a free ticket to Coach Summit in 2015, which is being held in Nashville. Now, a couple of us on this call actually went to Summit this year, which was in Las Vegas, and it was amazing. It's a place where all the coaches gather, and they have, this is a picture of us here, they have all the celebrity trainers do live workouts with us, but then, which is amazing, but then even, I feel even more valuable than that, they have all kinds of trainings from all the top coaches in the business. And they do product launches there, and they do like some personal development training, and they do awards and recognition and all that kind of stuff. But it's an amazing, amazing place. And if you can get your ticket for free, I mean, what the heck, go for it. It's awesome. It's actually sold out, the summit for 2015. So new coaches actually have a great opportunity because they've put tickets aside specifically for this program. So again, that's hitting Success Club 5 for the first 3 months you're in the business. Now, if you signed on mid-month or basically if you signed on September 2nd, you get all of September and all of October to meet your first month's goals. So if you signed mid-October, you get all of October plus all of November to meet Success Club 5 that's considered your first month, and then the next 2 months. Then the other thing is the Success Club trip, which is actually just purely reward based. So in 2014, the Success Club trip was actually a cruise. And 2015, it's a trip to Cancun, Mexico. And when you earn Success Club, those become dollars toward the trip. So you can actually basically earn yourself a free trip to Cancun. And then I'm sure they'll announce at some point in the near future where the Success Club trip for 2016 will be. And they give you some other perks sometimes. I think January last year, they doubled our Success Club points toward the trip and stuff like that. And that's not so much a training thing like Summit is. It's really just a fantastic perk for being a part of the company and hitting these benchmarks in the company. And then, of course, the other rewards is just seeing, I put this transformation picture here because it's just amazing, a great feeling to see people change and become, more and more in their lives, more and more improvement and feeling better and all those wonderful things we already talked about. And I couldn't help but put this picture of me and my boys at home because that's, the best perk of all is that for me, family time is amazing. So we talked about this already a little bit, but being on a team of coaches. So all of you, I believe, are part of our Facebook page, Inspiration Nation, but and I know some of us, depending on who your personally sponsored coach is, may or may not have put you into some of the bigger team pages. I kind of feel like it's a little bit overwhelming at first, and I like to put people in there a little bit further along, but we'll talk about that. But anyway, so eventually we'll put you into these additional team pages, which is my coach, Alyssa's page, and then her coach, Melanie Mitra, who's actually the #1 coach. Alyssa's, I believe, still ranked #8 in the company, and Melanie's ranked #1 in the company, and they both have pages that we are welcome to be part of. And they're just, so basically the bottom line is we just have a ton of resources, a ton of people who are involved who can help with questions or help with direction and all that kind of stuff. And it really is, even just in our page in Inspiration Nation, it really is kind of a family atmosphere where everybody kind of helps out and helps support everybody. So you can expect support from your personally sponsored coach. If it's not me, if it is me, then certainly, all of us support each other. Beachbody gives us amazing trainings as well, and I'll show you some of that stuff in the back office. There's live trainings and events. In addition to Summit, there's quarterly, there's a Super Saturday event, and it's local to Pittsburgh. It's usually held at Station Square, and we had one in September. I believe the next one is in January, and then April. That's not quarterly. So wait, is that January? Anyway, I'll keep you, but I think it's January is the next one. And anyway, so there's these live training events, and they're fantastic. We had another one in August that was a challenge group training, and somebody from corporate came to Pittsburgh. There was a Franklin Covey training, which is on time management. So there's just all resources you can imagine out there. And getting to live trainings is so very valuable because it really helps you just, kind of absorb the atmosphere of other coaches, of other people doing these events, other people doing what we're doing, other people sharing their ways that they're navigating and succeeding. So I couldn't recommend more highly getting to live events when you can. There's also, if you've never been to a live workout, in Pittsburgh, and I believe in lots of the other trainings as well across the country, there's Super Saturdays everywhere if you're not local to Pittsburgh. But anyway, just being a part of a live workout is also amazing too. So if you haven't been, that's worth it in and of itself. But they do these wonderful stories, and they really help build everybody up and help you feel like you're really making a difference, which you are. Then all of you are, of course, part of our Coach Basics group. There are team calls that we do. There are also team calls that Alyssa and Melanie do, and we'll help, guide you towards any of those things that you want to be a part of, because it can, not everybody relates specifically to the way I'm talking tonight. And I know for me, like one coach speaks more to me than another one. And it's just kind of what matches us, who speaks to us. It's all fantastic, and tapping into whoever speaks to you, whoever you can relate the most to, is fantastic. So as you all know, there's Active Coach, which you all are, which is fantastic. And then there's Discount Coach, and these are basically the two options for people. Active meaning you want to run the business, and you're going to start doing challenge groups, start doing participating, maybe starting out with free groups or whatever. And Discount Coach means that you basically want a discount on your shake, and that's awesome. And we have lots of people that that join just for that. And then we have people that kind of float back and forth. There's somebody who's in the middle of a move who was active before, and now she's kind of backed off that and been a discount coach. There's other people that start out as discount coaches, and then they're like, this is pretty awesome, I'm going to keep going. So basically there's a whole range. It's actually really not too, I mean, then there's people that do this part-time, and then there's people that do it full-time like I do. So lots of range of being a coach, and they're all fantastic. I think you all know, but just as you start talking to other people, there's a $40 sign-up fee to be a coach. Unless you buy a challenge pack, then that fee is waived. And there's a $15.95 monthly fee, and that applies to anybody who's either a discount coach or active coach, because Beachbody doesn't actually distinguish between those things. Only we do that. And then for any of you who don't know, there's a military discount where all those fees are actually waived. They don't have to pay. And that's for any active military and active military spouses. So that's a pretty nice perk. So these are just some inspirational things that, that spoke to me. Surround yourself with people who are only going to lift you higher. And I love this one. I'm going to try and move us one last time. As we work to create light for others, we naturally light our own way, which for me speaks to, you know, I love this job. I love doing this job, but I love it not only because I love helping other people, but because it's really helping me become a better person, which is a pretty sweet perk. Let me move this over here. There we go. So I imagine you've all began thinking about this as you signed on to be coaches. What can it do for you? Who can you help? What are your own goals and dreams? And stepping out of your comfort zone to do this was certainly something that was true for me. I don't know about all of you. I mean, we all come from different places, but when I started, I think I had about 100 friends on Facebook. I posted never. I liked a few things here and there, but it really does take some time, for me anyway, to step out of my comfort zone, but to decide this was something that I really wanted to pursue and to see the value in it has really made a huge difference for me. And I really love this business. I love what we stand for. I love how we help other people become healthy, and in doing that, become healthier ourselves. And for me, with my social work background, this whole emphasis that Beachbody places on personal development really speaks to me and the kind of my mission and where I want to go with my life. So so that kind of brings us to the end of that. So I'm going to stop sharing for a second here. There's all you pretty faces. So I want to ask if any of you have questions before I start talking about all the websites and Facebook, and we kind of shift direction. Do any of you have questions? And I can unmute you all so you can actually speak. Do any of you have questions about any of that stuff? Oh, hi there. Oh, so many questions. No, okay. So, all right. So then I'm going to keep going. Wait, I'm just going to fix this real quick on my screen so I can. Hang with me 1 second here. All right, so I'm going to move into, I guess I'll mute you all again since nobody has a question. I'm going to move on to some of the websites and stuff, because I think that like getting into the technical stuff is really important, especially early on, so you know how to find things and reference things that we're talking about. So I'm going to share my screen again here with you. Move this over here. Okay, so this is kind of the back office training. We call it back office, although it's really called Coach Online Office. We use those words interchangeably. But basically, here's how you get on there. So you go to teambeachbody.com. And if you're not signed in, you want to sign in. So I'm going to do that here with you all. When you get signed in, you're going to want to go to Coach, and then Coach Online Office. And then from there, there's a whole wealth of stuff right here on this first page. For one, here's your coach ID. So that's important to have as a reference. You'll probably come to know and love that eventually, but if you don't know it yet, that's where you can find it. And then it talks about your rank, and it talks about your sponsor and your upline diamond, upline star diamond, and all those great things. And then right here is where we talk about those SC points. So there's, and also your own volume. So I don't know that we talked about it yet, but to remain active, you have to have 50 PV, which is personal volume per month, to be considered an active coach. And volume, your personal volume can either come from your own purchases. So if you have Shakeology coming every month, you're totally covered because Shakeology is 90. Or if you have a customer order something, then that counts as your personal volume as well. So you just need to get that to 50. Now, volume usually comes from, it's a correlated with the price of an item, so it doesn't always match exactly, but that's what it's correlated with. That's how you can kind of guess volume. But when you go to a product, it will say right on there PV and however many PV it's worth. Anyway, here's where you can keep track of the tally of your Success Club points. So right now I have 15, so you can see that there. And if you clicked on this little plus, it would tell you more about Success Club, and this plus will tell you more about volume. Over on the right-hand side here, this is Coach Breaking News. And here's where you can get lots of updates on things coming up or little trainings that they do. There was maintenance scheduled. I don't know if any of you were affected by that. I tried to check a couple things the other day when there was maintenance going on or whatever. Anyway, there's this one is a great one. The NWC is the National Wake Up Call. So every Monday morning, they do a national wake up call. It usually lasts half an hour to 40 minutes at 8 a.m. Pacific time, so 11 a.m. Eastern time for those of you here in the Eastern time zone. And it's a great, great call to tap into every week. You don't have to listen at that time. It's recorded, and I have never caught it live, but I have it programmed into my phone, the playback number, and I just listen to it when I'm in the car, when I know I'm going to be in the car for half an hour or whatever, or folding laundry or whatever. And they do a bunch of recognition. First they start out every call talking about what's new, what the promotions are, or whatever they're talking about for the month, something like the technical side of things. Then they do all kinds of recognition, so when people are advancing in their business. And then the meat of the call is really, they usually have a top coach that talks about their top secrets, essentially. So they talked about this week how to overcome objections, and there were some previous calls that were on like how to invite people and how to, I mean, it's so great because these leaders in the company are willing to share all these wonderful tips with us. So I highly recommend, what I do is I just have the playback number programmed into my phone, and I just, literally when I have time, I just touch it and listen. But you can also listen to it on your computer. You can, it's an MP3, and you can, that way on the call, you can't pause, you can't stop it or anything, but on the computer you can, and you can fast forward and rewind or whatever. Okay. Anyway, moving on for a second here. There's, if you haven't already, you want to get to setting up your EFT, because when you get paid, you want it to come as direct deposit. Otherwise, if you don't set that up, it will go in a check form, which takes a long time, and I hear there's a fee for that. So just don't do that. If you can get a direct deposit, definitely set that up. If you want to know more about your commissions or how much you've earned, that's all right here in My Business. So take a little bit of time to get to know that. As you move further in the business, we'll talk a little bit about placement of coaches, as you start signing coaches, your downline, all these other things. You can also find your customers here, your orders here, all that kind of stuff. The other two things I want to point out is this news and training. So when you, we're going to start posting this week about some extra videos to watch to continue to help you get to know the company and the resources you have available to you. But anytime you can come back in this space and look in the news and training, and you can go to Coach Training Academy, and you can access some wonderful things that will be very helpful to you, like business essentials, which will go into these great, we were doing this week together, the 7-day business quick start, but you can also learn about your profile and websites, the back office, teambeachbody.com, and so on. And then you can also learn about inviting, how to earn, the challenge groups, lead lessons, all these things, which will be incredibly helpful, especially as you're learning in the beginning, because there's a big learning curve to this company, especially if you've never been involved with network marketing, as I had not, just kind of learning how this business works. And then finally, I guess there's one more thing after this, but for this one, success, I think this is amazing. I just spent some time in here today myself. This is basically Beachbody's free gift to us, I feel. It's all kinds of personal development stuff. So if you ever feel like you're kind of in need of a little pick-me-up, which I think could be daily, in my opinion, then they have these free things you can read, listen to, watch videos on, and it's just amazing leaders that kind of share their stories about, wait, I think my screen is a little, you can't see. Anyways, amazing leaders that share their stories and give us a bit of information and give us kind of a little bit of a, I don't even know what to say, like a little coffee for our brain or something. I don't know. Anyway, it's really helpful. And if you're looking for something, then that's a great place to go. Okay, I'm going to back out of here because I want to show you one more thing before we get out of the back office. If it there, oh, hang on. So if you, oh, there's, you know what? Let me just see here. Hang on 1 second. Oh, there we go. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to point out on any page before we back out is on any page at all in your back office, there's this little bitty FAQ button down here. And this is where you can find answers to pretty much all of your questions. So you can type in anything here, like how about Shakeology and pregnancy, which is something that comes up a lot, pregnancy. And you could find answers about Shakeology and pregnancy, or, you know, whatever. Let's say you want to find out more about combat that I just was talking about. You can look it up this way. And I'm telling you this because you can probably find answers more quickly this way than if you were to post something in the group, although there's often people online, but maybe not at the time that you need an answer. Also, this is what we learned pretty recently, was that this is the actual software, whatever, that the people that we call on the phone on coach relations, this is what they use. So often when we call to ask them a question, they just type in the question the same way that we could and read us the answer. I mean, that's not true for everything. There are some things coach relations only they can handle, you know, person to person. But for some general questions, this is a great tool. So again, that was just in the bottom. You have to go into your Coach Online office first, and then at the bottom of any page is the little FAQ. Okay, so now let me try backing out here again. Oh, it's not working. Okay, let me try this a different way. I just want to show, hang on. We might have to come back to this. All right, let's come back to this. And let me try one more time here. All right, we'll come back to that. I did want to show you the one last thing about how to check on your customers' orders, but we'll come back when that website seems to be doing better. So we're going to shift over here now to Facebook, because I want to make sure you all understand how groups work. If you've never been a part of a group before, it's helpful to just kind of walk through it together. So First off, I don't know if you all know, but you can put your groups so that they stick on your page. These are considered my favorite groups, so they stick over here. And the way you do that is first you would go down to groups. If you click on a group, and then these are all the groups that I've been a part of in some way or another, and you would just click on add to your favorites. And then then it would appear over here on the left-hand side, and then you can move these around if you want to, just by hovering over the left. You see that little wheel, you click on it, left click on that, and then you can rearrange, and you can move any of these groups in any order that you like. So if you want to put ones that you want to check in first, so I kind of organize mine a little bit, like the coach groups, and then the groups I have challengers in, and then the groups I'm a part of as a not as a leader, but as a, you know, as a challenger or whatever myself. And then the other things for the group are these tabs up top. I don't know if you all are familiar with these tabs, but they're super important. So I'm going to go into our Inspiration Nation page. So there's these tabs up top, and they're super helpful, especially the files. So if you have time, this is really valuable to go through. Now, unfortunately, Facebook does not give us the tools to be able to organize the files. They're not organized alphabetically or by theme or anything like that. It's the same as the news feed. As soon as somebody comments on it, it jumps to the top. So so unfortunately, you kind of have to go through and find what you're looking for. But in the files back here, we have all kinds of resources. So like this one, for example, third-party tools, has all the videos that you might want to share with a potential customer or potential coach, and you can just cut and paste these. See my name here. You could take that out and put your name in instead, and then the video will have your name on it or whatever. And there are some other great resources here in the files. So just take a minute to look at those. There's some pretty awesome resources here. The other thing I wanted to show you in the groups is there's this option. If you've ever been a part of a challenge group before, hopefully you figured this out, but if not, I'm just going to tell you real quick. There's the option to pin a post, which means that it will stick to the top of the page, so that if somebody comments on a different part of the news feed, that one will still stick to the top, but you can only do that with one post. So in our challenge groups, we often pin the post of the day to the top. In our coaching groups, we don't have necessarily a post of the day, but the reason why I want to point that out to you is because if you're checking from your phone, you actually have to press the pinned post button. It doesn't look like it's on there at all. You actually have to press that button for it to show. All right, I'm going to keep going because we're getting close to our time together here. Okay, so let me I really want to try and show you this one last thing from the Beachbody site, because I think it will be really helpful. So hopefully this is working now. No. All right, we might have to save that one for next time. Okay, so the one last thing I want to show you, because I know that some of you are already interested in Google Docs and our templates. So I'm just going to assume, without asking you, that you don't know what Google Docs are, and I'm just going to talk you through it for a second here. And if we want to talk more about this, we certainly can do more. But so Google Docs are essentially like having Word or Excel on the internet and the web versus on your personal computer. So you can access these docs from anywhere, any computer, and you can share them with other people. So it's pretty sweet that way. So how you can get to those is, I think you need to create an account with Google, so you can make up your own Gmail address if you don't have one already. And then you just go to these apps over here, these little 9 little squares here, and then you click on Google Drive. And this will give you access to Google Docs. So you can create something, you can create a document. The presentation I just showed you is a Google presentation. You can do a spreadsheet, a form, a drawing, whatever. And what we've done, our team has done, is put together challenge group templates. So any of you that have been a part of a challenge group, often the posts were pre-created. Sometimes we create them as we go if it's a new program or whatever, but often we're drawing from posts that have worked in the past or that challengers have asked us about in the past or whatever. So we have these great templates. So for example, there's a 21-day fix challenge group template. So if we open that, how we've kind of designed that is these yellow squares we try and put into the groups before we open them. So we put in a group description, we upload a photo, we put these sample meal plans in the files. We put these files in about how to track their meals, et cetera, and then here are some actual posts that we use. So you can literally just double click on it and then copy and paste it into the challenge group. So really, you know, basically the idea is that we don't want anybody to have to reinvent the wheel. We've kind of put these together as we've gone. We've drawn from coaches that have gone before us, and it really is no problem sharing these with everybody. And we ask, you know, we hope that you'll add to them and share as you go along, and you find wonderful things that people want to hear about as well. So basically then what you can do is when you get one of these that you're interested in or whatever, you can actually save it. If you want to save your own copy of it and play with it and move things around and whatever you want to do with them. So you can make a copy for yourself. You can share it, and there's a couple different ways to share that are that you can allow other people to edit it, or you can keep it that they can only view it or they can only comment on it or whatever. So there's a couple different options in sharing them, but basically that's kind of how this works. So we have templates for pretty much all the programs out there, I think. Beachbody also has templates that you can draw from, and then we have created some ourselves for the free clean eating group that we do, which is a 5-day group that a lot of us have been a part of in some way or another. We have a clean eating and Shakeology template, and so anyway, so there's tons of resources out there, and I just want you to be aware of them so that you know that you don't have to reinvent something. Now, certainly if you have your own ideas, that's amazing and highly encouraged, but you can absolutely draw from any of these things that we have already put into place. The one thing about Google Docs I have to say is that we can't quite figure out how to get the images. I don't think you can. So some of them have them in there, but you can't copy them and paste them. It's a little bit confusing. So the images that you see in the groups are ones that we often pull from either Pinterest or Google Images or whatever. And that part, you might have to be a little bit creative on if you are using the templates. Okay, I'm going to try one last time here because I wanted to show you this last thing. Cross my fingers. No, I don't think it's going to work. I don't know what's going on, but oh well. Let me go here. Whoop. Oh boy, I'm gonna stop sharing. There we go. So how about questions? That was a lot of information, but what do you guys have questions about? Oh, I'm sorry, I see a question. Where can we find the back office videos on the Beachbody website? Oh shoot, I wish I could show you that. But basically what you can do is go to, I'm going to try one more time and see if it'll let me in. Oh, you know what? Maybe I could use a different browser. Hang on.
It's not, the back office isn't opening for me either, Kathleen.
No? Okay.
I don't know if it's down or what. Maybe a different browser will work.
Okay, yeah, let me try real quick and see if it works. I'll share with you all again. Oh, I got it. Okay, let me share here. I went into a different browser and that worked. Okay, so the videos. Okay, so to show people the videos, you go to Coach and then Coach Online Office. And then right here is the video library, and you just would hit English, unless of course you're sharing with somebody in Spanish. And then that's where you can find whatever videos you want. So if you want to show them a specific product, or you can actually get some great training materials this way. Success stories, Team Beachbody, whatever. You can go through this whenever you have a minute. So that was just on the right-hand side, but you do have to scroll down just a little bit to video library. And here, real quick, here's the other thing I wanted to show you. So if you want to back out, you just go this Team Beachbody up top here. When you go to Coach and Previous Office View, this can be really helpful. You can just go to My Orders, and then it will show you all of your customer orders. And you can actually see their tracking numbers and all that kind of stuff on there. So you can help see if people's orders have gone through before they actually will show up on your like Success Club points or whatever. So when you go into your Coach Online office, the Success Club points may not show until the following day. So you can actually check for them if in real time in that. So that was back here. If you go to Coach and then Previous Office View, and then just click on My Orders, My Customer Orders. So I just wanted to show that to you too. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing again. Okay, so what questions do you all have? Again, I know that was a lot of information, but no. Okay, so here's the last thing that I wanted to talk about for tonight. So we have, I think all of you are coming on as new coaches at maybe the best time of the year. And I'm saying this because, as you probably know, come January, they have what I've heard called the resolution effect, which is basically people make New Year's resolutions, and it's probably the highest selling time for health and fitness. So we have this amazing opportunity between now and January to start really building relationships with people so that when they think of health and fitness come January, they think of you. So something that I've been really listening at, as I'm kind of still building my own business and still making my way in this business, is really how important it is to think about our niche audience. So basically what I'm finding is that the coaches that have had a ton of success in the business, like take Alyssa, for example, she has a very specific niche audience. She markets specifically to nurses because she's a nurse, and to people that are interested in fitness competitions, like she's a bikini competitor. And while you might think that being specific in your audience will limit you, it actually is the opposite. It actually really helps you stand out among the people that you're trying to market to. Where there's a saying out there, if you're marketing to everybody, you're really marketing to no one. So I think now's the time to kind of think that through. Who do you want to market to? And basically, it's you who you want to market to. It's, people that will be naturally attracted to you. So if you want to market, like for me, for example, I want to market to moms and people that maybe have, not necessarily social workers, but maybe that people that want to have a little bit more of this whole, for me, idea of like meaning and purpose and all that kind of stuff. Like that kind of stuff really speaks to me. So that's the kind of market that I want to be speaking to when I make my posts and when I do all my blog stuff and all that kind of stuff. So it's very valuable in the beginning to think about who do you want to market to, because the more specific you can be, the more we can help craft your posts and give you a strategy about how to create some kind of plan for how you want to market specifically for the resolution effect coming in January. Because now's the time to start building relationships with people, thinking through, how you want to approach that potentially very big time of year. I was just listening today to a woman on that success tab from the Team Beachbody. I was listening today to a woman who's like an expert in marketing with Facebook. She's not part of Beachbody, but just generally speaking. And she said the number one problem that people face in the beginning, or the number one mistake that people make in the beginning of starting to use Facebook in particular, is that they don't have any kind of strategy about what they're doing. And I think back to myself starting out, and that was definitely me. No idea, no strategy. And I'm thinking with all of you starting out now, like that would be something amazing to think about, who you want to market to, and then kind of crafting what your posts are and your purpose for your posts and all that kind of stuff, I think would, at least in my opinion, save you maybe 6 months, maybe even a year of the time that I spent trying to figure that out for myself. And I don't know if Nadine and Terry, I don't know if you want to add to that at all, but that's just sort of the way I want to shift what I'm doing now. And I feel like if I had started out that way, I would save myself so much time. All right, I'm going to unmute you all. And maybe just as one last thing tonight, maybe we could just go around and introduce ourselves to each other, and maybe even say a little bit, there we go, say a little bit more about, you know, yourself and coaching and all that kind of stuff. So whatever you want to say, but maybe just take a few minutes to go around. So Terry, why don't you go first?
Oh, okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Terry Shaw. My sister-in-law Sarah's on here as well. Hi, Sarah. I didn't see you there earlier. Kathleen is my coach, and I've learned everything I know from her. She's a wonderful leader, and so I continue to learn from her. And even in these, I've heard a couple of these before, and they're wonderful. And every once in a while, I do something new. So thank you, Kathleen. But I've been a coach for almost a year now. I started my first challenge group in the beginning of November last year. And so I don't know, I've been coaching. I did start coaching right from the beginning. I kind of went through my challenge and then started after that. And just realized this was a great fit for me. I run a family daycare out of my home, so this is a part-time job, which I'm planning to go full-time this summer. I'm really looking forward to that, but I love it. It's opened doors for me already. It's been great just to be a part of people's health and fitness journeys and seeing transformations and wonderful things. So I'll stop talking now, but that's who I am. Hi.
Hey. Nadine, why don't you go next, lady?
Okay. I started last year also in a challenge group. I started a clean eating group last August and loved it. And I had done some of the P90 programs and Insanity before, so I really knew the Beachbody programs worked. But it was the concept of getting the Shakeology and getting my eating under control that really made the change for me. And I thought, I just was so excited about the idea of being able to share that with other people, since I know it was just something that I had struggled with for so long. So I really liked that idea. And so I signed on right away as a discount coach, but didn't really start working the business till about last October. So, and I did realize the resolution effect for sure, like last December, January. So that is something to really keep in mind as you're planning out everything for this fall through the winter. So, but yeah, it's just been great helping others, reaching their goals and trying to encourage people. And like Kathleen said, you know, you really do grow as a person too. I think that's one of the biggest things that I've been thankful for, is just learning so many life skills and so many, just with relationships and with people. And so it's been a blessing for me all around.
Awesome. And Nadine and Terry are both diamond coaches on this team, so they'll be very helpful in our Coach Basics University too. All right, so Sarah, how about you go next?
Okay. I'm Sarah Shaw, Terry Shaw's sister-in-law. we get confused with each other all the time in family events. And I even had Nikki, who's on here too, say we looked like Terry.
Oh, really?
No surprise. Yeah.
That's funny.
I signed up under Terry after watching her go through this on Facebook for probably a couple months. So she said she started last year, and I was always really impressed with, the posts she'd put on and workouts she was doing and the transformation, and it just was really intriguing to me. And I'm actually in a health and fitness background anyways. I do some strength training and coaching in the volleyball gym that we work in, and I've loved working one-on-one with kids and athletes right now. But I've also found that that's very limiting to only a few people, whoever has time or whoever I have time to work with. It's very limited as a mother of 4 and, all the other things going on in our life. So doing Beachbody was like a great way for me to kind of leverage my time and help other people more than just people who I can work with one-on-one in an hour. So this is a way to like kind of coach people all over the country and encourage healthy habits. And so far, I joined in July, just this past summer. And so far, I bet I've like connected and contacted so many old high school friends or people that we knew in college and old teammates. And it's just been really fun to kind of reignite those relationships and then also see them transform. A lot of friends I had that have become new moms have been wanting to lose weight, and it's like they're thanking me for bringing them into this and seeing it. So it's very rewarding, and I love that I can do that without having to be in a gym in that hour. It's just a really great schedule for a mom like me or a business person who has a side job or whatever. It's been an awesome opportunity. So I have a lot to learn. It's sometimes overwhelming to me, just all the learning curve, but I know it'll come in time. Terry and Kathleen and Nadine, they've been great models of how to do this and keeping me calm and figuring it out. Comes in time. And it's about being consistent. So I'm trying to do well with that. But
and Sarah's an Emerald coach on her way to Diamond, which there's some more of the ranks we'll talk about eventually, but you're doing awesome, Sarah. Okay, so how about Deb? How about if you go next?
I'm a retired teacher who met Kathleen while volunteering at her place of business, and we became friends. And I really was amazed watching this incredible shrinking mom of 3 find time to eat healthy and exercise, look great and feel great. And I wanted to do that too. I am hoping to work with and have the opportunity to work with other people in my age group, senior citizens. And I'm hoping to start a 5-day free group on November 1st.
Awesome. Deb and I have talked, but I just think that's such an untapped market. I mean, it's so great because I think that, so many people in our network of coaches are, kind of younger moms who whatever want to get back their baby, but there's this whole group of people who could really use the support, but also, it's just a group of people that I don't think are getting all the help that they could get. And I think they will really look to you, Deb. I think it's awesome. I'm so glad you're part of the team.
Well, I've watched others struggle with mobility and health issues, and I didn't want to be a member of that group for sure. And there are people that really could benefit from this in that age group.
Yeah. And by the way, there's no way that you look like a senior citizen. I just have to say.
Thanks.
You look awesome.
Oh, thanks. I feel great.
Yes. All right, Kristen, how about you?
All right. Well, I'm still really overwhelmed by all of this. I'm just kind of learning as I go and trying to do good and keep myself together. But I'm a mom too. I work part-time. I know Kathleen because I work with her husband and worked with him for many years. I've always been into fitness. I'm not super, fitness person, but I do like to set goals for myself because that too keeps me accountable. Kind of set my goal a couple years ago to start running and was successful with that. And I just did Tough Mudder this past summer with my husband and some of our friends, which was fun. But now that my kids are in school, my oldest son, I'm having a really hard time getting to the gym. So I'm kind of like looking for new ways to incorporate workouts at home and keep myself accountable. And I think this would be a good way. I like helping other people. I'm a DA. I work with victims on a daily basis. That's something that's important to me. So I'm just looking forward to seeing where this goes and having fun with it at the same time. I'm kind of trying to feel a little less overwhelmed with it eventually.
It is overwhelming in the beginning. I don't know if you're all feeling that, but I definitely did in the beginning too. It's just because you're learning a whole new business in addition to trying to get it started at the same time. So it definitely is normal to feel overwhelmed, but there's a ton of support out there. And please ask questions as you go, because we certainly want to help you. And I love the way you're starting, Kristen, by the way. I don't know if you all are part of it, but she opened up a group where she's going to help build relationships with people, and a free group for people, and it's ongoing and it's amazing. And she's already had some sales, which is awesome, because I think you're like 4 days into the business or something. It's pretty amazing. So you're doing great. But I totally get that feeling of overwhelm too. It's something that I think I still feel sometimes, because there's so much information out there, but it's all good. And if you can think of it as that it's all resources and we're all learning and all that, that helps me at times anyway. All right. How about you, Nikki?
All right. I'm Nikki O'Connell. I got brought on by Sarah. I coach volleyball with high school kids. I just started in my first group a month ago. Did the moms group that Terry hosted. I did the 21-day fix just for the 21 days. My husband did it with me. Wanted a little bit different workout, so we bought the T25. So we're the third week of T25. Completely new into this, but got my dad on board with the Shakeology part. He isn't able to work out. So, but just through family right now. So I'm starting off very slow.
Well, welcome. I'm so glad. That's a shift, 21-day fix to T25. That's awesome. I'm so glad you're going to keep going, and it sounds great that you got your dad on board. All right, and how about you, Beth?
Hi there, I'm Beth, and I guess feeling very overwhelmed. Like you said, so much information, it's a good thing, but then it's almost like overload initially. But I'm glad you tonight reviewed some of the stuff on the videos that I was going to watch again, like hoping I would absorb some more. So I've made some notes, and I don't know, I have always been active my whole life, but probably about 5 years ago, I had a thyroid problem as a young person, and then had to have my gallbladder out. And I'm like, okay, I'm fairly thin, I'm fairly fit. Something, has got to get a bigger emphasis with my diet. And so I've done things on my own and worked out with a trainer for a while. And that was really great because we met in a small group of ladies. And I was asking Nadine about that, and maybe try something like that in the future when I get on to what I'm doing, so I feel like I know what I'm talking about. But because the accountability factor is huge for me, and so that's what interested me. And I have to be honest, through reading, I've done a lot of reading in the past 5 years about diet, and I've looked at a lot of supplements and shakes and things on the market. And when Nadine initially contacted me, I was like, you know what, I haven't seen a good shake that I would put into my body yet. And then I got back to looking. I thought, I'm just going to look this up online and see what it is. And I have to say, it is the best, healthiest protein shake that I've seen on the market, with no extra garbage in it. And so I was really impressed by that. And then I said, sure, well, I have to get it and taste it. And so it came, and I'm like, oh, and it even tastes good. Okay. So now I'm just starting this 21-day fix thing. And I feel like, as much as I want to tell some people about what I'm doing, I'm like, okay, because I've signed on as a coach and I haven't done a challenge group yet, I'm not sure if I should just put the word out yet, or if I should, do a little bit of this. Do you have any suggestions about that?
I don't know if anybody else wants to speak up, because I think everybody in here has actually approached it slightly differently. So So it's really, up to you. I would say you could certainly invite people to join you on this journey. I know some people are ready to go from the beginning, and other people want to get through something, a challenge group themselves. So it's really, maybe you and Nadine could talk about that a little bit more, knowing whatever group that you're a part of or what you want to point people to. But I don't know, does anybody else want to speak to that? Because I think you've all had different experiences with it.
I'll say something real quick. I sort of, when I signed on to my first challenge, Kathleen had talked to me initially about how, one day you would be great at becoming a coach. And I was like, no, thanks. I don't think I can do that. I just want to do the challenge. But she did talk to me about signing up originally as a discount coach, which I did hesitantly, but I did it. And she told me at that time, if you have a couple friends who you want to just join the challenge with you, like ask them if they want to partake in this, 60-day challenge together. It's a lot more fun if you do it, with somebody that you know. So, that's what I did. And then they just kind of bought their programs through me. I wasn't really sure what was all going on, but I was like, okay, I'll get 25% of their commission. Blurred to me at that time because I wasn't planning on coaching. And so, they joined in, we did the challenge together. And then after that, I fell in love with the whole process, and I was like, I want to keep doing this, inviting more friends. And then it just sort of developed from there. So I didn't originally set out to and I hadn't done anything. I mean, I hadn't had a sip of Shakeology. I didn't do the workout at all. This was before any of it started. So I didn't really have that base to say it's wonderful, but I just said I decided to take time out for me. Do you want to join me? This is my birthday present to myself, and I think you should give it a try too. Let's do it together. And so it was really easy for them, and then it just kind of evolved from there. So that's something you could think about doing as well, if you just ask some friends to do it with you.
And they bought the same program as you. So for instance, if you bought that, what was it called? The challenge pack of the 21 Fix and the Shakeology, they bought that. And then did it together.
My friends actually did. We did T25, and they bought it. And I sort of asked people who I knew would probably be, similar in terms of being able to do that program. Mm-hmm. But I believe the challenge group that we were in, you could have picked any program that you wanted to. So not everybody was doing T25, but they just chose to do that one as well. And I had asked, I was sending Kathleen a million messages a day. How do I find a video to show, my friend? Because I had no idea how anything worked at that point. So she would send me things to send them. And so I did that. And yeah, at the beginning it was overwhelming. I wasn't intending to coach at all. I just kind of kept telling her no, maybe, I don't know. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, you could even send a couple of videos and just say, this is what I'm doing, but they might be interested in something else, and they can still do that in a challenge group, because there are many that are just general, not program specific. So
thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad you spoke up, Terry, because I was going to call you out. No, I was just kidding. because that's really what happened was that, of course I knew she would be an amazing coach and all that, but in the beginning, what she did, I don't even know if you remember, Terry, but you had posted something on Facebook just about, hey, my thing came in the mail. You got some people responding to it. And then you said to me, at least this is how I remember it, you said to me, so-and-so wants to join. And I said, that's awesome. They can join through you. And then I just ran the challenge group, and having Terry in there was like having a ringer in there, because I knew that she would participate and post and all that stuff. And then as her friends who had joined saw how much she participated and posted, then they joined too. It was an amazing challenge group. It's one one of the few that actually extended their group. It was a 60-day group, and they were all like, we're not ready to be done. It was an amazing group because there were so many people in it that were participating and interested in whatever. So anyway, so that if you want to invite people, Beth, then like Nadine can run the group, or I can run the group, or whoever is part of your group. I'm not sure which group you're in, but we can run the group, and you just invite people to join you. And
Okay.
it can work. It can work really awesome that way, because then you kind of have a little bit of the inside scoop, so you know that we would love for you to post and comment and build up your team and whatever. So it can be really fun that way.
Now, is there a downside of that for timing though? Because specifically, like I was going to do the 21-day fix. Last week was the prep week, and I was trying to read all this stuff and have some clue of what I'm doing. So now we're going to start. So is it too late to invite? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, probably for that group it might be too late, but you can, we start up groups so often that I don't think it would be very difficult to. I mean, you could even tell your friends like, hey, I just started this one, join me on my next round of it, or something, what I mean, something like that.
Okay, great, thank you.
Yeah, and I think it just worked for Terry because she had like so there was a time lapse between when we were starting and when she signed on, and you know what I mean. So there was a little bit more of a gap than it sounds like you might have, but you could still work that out, no problem.
Okay.
All right, guys. Well, we are pretty over our 10 o'clock time period, so I don't want to cut anybody else off, but I am going to stop recording.